Just trying to get us out of here.
Of course. You let me know. Christina, or if we- We're.
Yeah. Liam is just back. Okay, we are going. I'll stick with it.
We're good?
We're on. Yes.
All right, welcome everyone again, following our annual meeting. This is the regular monthly board meeting for the Tioga County Industrial Development Agency. It is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. At 4:31 p.m. The meeting is hereby called to order. Christine, could we have a roll call?
Jen Ceccarelli.
Yes?
Kevin Gillette.
Yes.
Martha Salbride. Yes. Tracy Manell.
Yes.
John Ward.
Yeah.
Aaron Gowen.
Yeah.
And Eric Knowles is excused.
All right. Originally, we have privilege of the floor, but he canceled, so we can move right on to, I'm looking for a motion, please, to approve the December board meeting minutes.
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. How about the financials? A motion to acknowledge the financials, unless there's any questions about them? Nothing?
Motion to acknowledge the.
What a way to go out.
Yeah.
No question.
No
You
question.
took care of my question. You took care of the question.
Oh, so you will
That's
be
great. All in favor?
Is this gonna be a victory lap or what?
Thank you. It is a victory lap. Okay.
Aaron will be
Did
missed.
everyone have time to read Leanne's report? Because she spent some time to pull it together and send it to us.
Yeah, it did, but it was days ago. So
I was most interested in the Temple Street development. Temple Street, yeah, there's some developer coming in there. That caught my eye
Yeah,
immediately.
it sounds good, but remember, we have to build a
Village.
street.
You're right.
I was
You're
really
absolutely
excited for
right.
about
I was happy about it. I was happy to see that something's going on with it.
Did I miss that? I didn't even see it.
Yeah,
There's lots of documents.
there was
can
some
pull it up.
developer I never heard of. Somebody new looking at that whole
Brittany-
thing.
Brittany Whitburn is the land bank person and just doing a great job.
She is, she's awesome.
She has the right mentality to deal with the village.
All right,
We'll see.
so we'll save our questions for Leanne if we have any. Moving on to project updates, Christine.
So Wego Gardens 2, there's no changes to the cost spreadsheet since last month. We are anticipating the Robinson payout in the next week or so. We do have a request from Jamie Gensel asking for management fees above what we have previously contracted or committed to paying out.
I think it amounted to 40,000-ish.
Say the name of the company again, I couldn't hear you.
Fagan Engineers.
Okay,
Oh,
thank
so we have a payout to Robinson in the next week.
Yeah.
And then Fagan Engineers is seeking a payout for their basically management and administrative services above what was required based on their existing contract.
So I would support that, and this is why. I had a conversation with Ann today. And she mentioned it, and I said, no, I don't want to pay them more money. They screwed it up, and they only got back in the ball. She says, no. The IDA did not approve them managing the project. So whatever they did, filling in the gap in the last whatever weeks. Some of the information that came through was much more clear. So I say pay these guys, and if we ever do a project again, we absolutely hire contractor management to be the clerk of the works, and we don't try to run the program. And we got screwed up on that.
Yeah.
And with all of the other COVID and
Well,
increase in
Leanne
cost.
was clerk of the works, and she was in charge.
But that doesn't mean she could handle the debacle with the water company and everything else. You need a company that is what they do for a living. And believe me, that is how you get things done.
It's worth
You
paying
don't put
for.
it on
Yeah.
multi.
Pay for it anyway.
You're gonna end
Oh,
up paying
yeah.
for it. But maybe.
Paid for a lot of things.
Well, we're all gonna feel good about the fact that we're not ever gonna do another project like this without somebody being in charge.
Right.
Okay, so we've established that, or at least I established that at one of these meetings months and months ago.
I know
and
you
We don't
did.
need to rehash it again. Where's the bill for the 40 grand? What is it for? How did we come up with the number?
So I think, right, my understanding, and forgive me, Leanne was going to speak to this today. So my understanding based on his outreach and email is he's hoping, right now, he's asking us if we will consider paying out the invoice once received. So we don't have an actual invoice received. His explanation goes over an array of information. Originally, they offered to provide construction management administration for $85,000.
See the email, Kevin? Maybe you should pull up the email.
Yeah, let me pull it up. That'll be,
It's 100 in this room, isn't it?
Yeah.
It always is.
So it's getting warmer because you're getting,
Worked up.
It's hot.
But your blood pressure's going up.
I ain't seen
it's topic related. It's not that warm in here. Boy, you're just getting agitated.
It's warm.
Need me to take you out for a beer, dude?
it.
okay.
We'll go over there and slap the shit out of everybody. Well, I forgot we're live.
Whoops.
Wouldn't matter. I don't care.
Open up.
I don't think anybody listens to it, Tracy.
All right, well, it's not letting me open. All right. I'll just.
Seems a lot more than 40,000.
So
So their original, I think again, I'm trying to go off of memory, they originally included it in their scope.
Correct.
And if I recall, we cut it out, and then,
Correct.
what was it, 79?
It was 85.
85,000. So in his
Cut it out.
email, he said, would you consider paying what they are stating is their actual man-hour costs of 40 grand?
He said, well, and he said, ironically, based on a tally of our unbilled hours, we would have billed those hours at 87,267. That does not include any of Jamie Gensel's personal time, which he's not even calculated. Our actual cost for the staff hours is roughly 40,000. So it's not clear to me if he's asking for 87
Yeah.
or 40.
I thought it was
I
40.
was reading.
I got 40 out of it.
I see that.
It's like my.
And then the original contract is attached. I'm
Interpretation.
There's so much in there.
You won't know until you get the actual.
You read it the way you want to read it.
Correct.
And that's
Correct.
always right.
Yeah, I went with the lower number.
Right.
And you can't tell people when you're gonna have a delivery there because they always take the shortest number.
Well, is he gonna give us an official invoice or how's this gonna work?
Yes, right now, he's
Well, okay,
speaking.
So he says, I am hoping that the IDA would consider submitting an invoice for our time at cost.
Which I
And he
think,
said our actual cost for the staff hours is roughly 40,000.
so maybe,
It's up there, it was 40.
so 40,000 sounds like probably it, and he's demonstrating that he could be requesting 87.
Which was the original thing he was gonna charge us for if he managed the whole run.
Well, we hired these guys.
Is everybody comfortable with a request for $40,000?
Yes, I am.
Staff hours?
Just kill it and not talk it to death. Is that what you're agreeing?
Is that what you're?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's $40,000. He said,
I want to see it.
42.50.
I would want to see an invoice and,
there you go.
you know,
There.
breakdown of.
My question is, when we hired, in the middle of this whole nightmare, we hired Fagan to come in here and try to sort this stuff out. You everybody agree with me on that?
Yeah.
We added
And what did we ask them, what did we agree to pay them at that time?
20,000 additional management, but it only covered the first portion of the contract. And then once that was over, Hunt's inspectors were supposed to kind of take over oversight. And at that point, we went quite a lengthy time before we realized, and Fagan looped back in and. they
So do we
started
ever
picking
have-
up a
We
lot.
had that discussion at that time.
Do we ever have a contract with Fagan to do anything? Or we just had a word of mouth handshake?
I don't recall.
20,000 was approved, is what I recall. And then that only had a short term.
I want to see something.
It'd be good to see the history, to,
I want to see what we agree to,
Okay,
and then I can make a.
I mean, he got there somehow.
Yeah, oh yeah, he didn't just show up because he liked us. I get that.
No, but I mean, he got to 40,000 in some fashion.
Right.
It's like Kevin said, send us an invoice, let us see
A
what it says.
detailed invoice and we'll entertain it
So I have
or
a
discuss it.
okay.
Okay.
When, I have a question, when we make agreements and we hire the people to do projects for the IDA, I'm sorry, I don't know this. Don't we have a contract? We have to have a signed contract? Because we have to do this with the county all the time, so
Yeah.
somewhere's got to, something's got
I don't
to.
recall that, but
Like I said, he didn't just show up because he likes us.
Right.
So we must have told him something.
So above this original contract we provided, I will search for proof that we
that-
by board voted and approved in
Right.
2020, paid it out, or if I'm just remembering
As
the
Brian said.
potential it didn't.
Yeah, you need to dig back and look.
Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Thank
I
you.
will. And then I'll ask him to provide a detailed invoice for consideration.
Will we entertain whatever he throws in front of us? Like, my answer is yes.
We'll entertain it, but let's see what it is.
I don't think as a. This board, I'm not willing to just say it, but
Oh, you're entitled.
send me an email and I'm okay with it. I'm just not gonna do it.
Well, no, just go without saying.
Bring us in for a landing, but I'm not in that big a hurry to bring it in.
No, I mean, the last week on that project's been pretty darn frustrating.
You think?
A little bit,
I mean, the only thing I forgot to put in my email the other day was, geez, what a difference a day makes. What the heck?
Because there wasn't a problem today. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I know.
you go from 100 grand today to what are we down to now?
7,000,
and how-
not even.
why was that?
So that was,
Because nobody read the book before they ran their mouth. That's why.
And
Well,
that's, yes.
I mean, somebody threw a hand grenade in the middle of all this. Here you are, it's only gonna be 118,000.
And we reacted. But then we got on a phone call with like 15 people and they were like, why don't you sign the agreement? What are you talking about? What?
What agreement?
I mean, this is-
Oh, boy.
Right, and the manager on this.
Well, that's the issue. It's like,
Well.
You
We'll
wanna
certainly
pay,
do that in the
but
future.
Right, and that's just it, you know, had they been engaged at that full amount, would that have? Cause I tell you why, it wouldn't feel good paying $85,000 if that still happened.
Hmm.
So now what happens with this tank when it goes down to 10 degrees or 10 below 0 degrees?
so
There was no ice in the tank. There's no problem with the tank. The tank was a farce. But you have to follow the protocol and the water company wanted the thing. I could have climbed up the tank and told you that. I'd charge you $2 and not $2,000.
We
No
might have to
hard-
put a 4,500 watt
What,
water heater inside of it.
what I understand, is if it freezes, it doesn't freeze the whole tank, it freezes the top, and it freezes up.
Yeah.
There's nothing up that's gonna get hurt.
You don't overfill it, it freezes up. It happens every day. It's been 20 below 0.
And like I said, I stand and look at my pool, that pool's still full of water, and it's just got plastic sides. But the top's frozen, and it's frozen about a foot down. And by the end of the winter, it'll probably be frozen down a little more than that. But it doesn't freeze the whole thing, and the water comes in at the bottom and comes up, so it's not a problem. Somebody's trying to get us to get excited about this, and I think that they.
You're
They
They succeeded.
Christine, what did you say? You were about to say something.
So regardless of whether or not the possibility of ice damage is true or not aside. Because anyway, so we're anticipating Veolia to take the system over Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
There you go.
That's-
It ain't gonna
that's-
get cold till the 5th is 18th. Not gonna get cold enough to even make a crystal.
Well, it'll feel a lot better looking at
Based on-
Fabian's invoice when we're not liable for that damn thing.
Yeah, so based on the fact that there was no damage from that very cold weather and the prediction of the weather, I think, it looks like we're gonna be just.
And what made Fagan or Veolia say they were gonna take possession of the tank?
So they've been on the same page of wanting to rush this as well, but they had a full bullet point of outstanding issues. One being they needed a private hydrant agreement by some entity. So that's now been resolved. in the end, the final hydrant agreement I'm submitting calls out 3 hydrants. So our cost went down instead of 4, 1 remains with home leasing. And we also don't have to pay the water main line fee. So our amount is 1145.50 times 3 semi-annually. So it's great.
What was with Jeff taking the locks and leaving the tank unsecured? What was with that?
That doesn't matter to me.
I don't know.
Just move on to whatever else. we think is taken care of.
Come out with,
No,
If they'd have told me that Jeff Van Wagenen was gonna climb up that tower, I'd have gone up there to watch that. That's a big boy. Just so you know.
And so, where are we? No.
So we are just hoping to have Fagan or have Veolia take that system next week. So
Okay.
everything's looking like,
This contract goes on,
so we,
so we get a road.
yes, so Jamie Gensel and myself and Chris Rowland from Home Leasing's financing team attended the village board meeting last night. They refused to even set a public hearing date last night.
Oh, no.
They're going to discuss all of their concerns and issues with the way it's been constructed, even though their planning board approved all those plans and code approved the plans and fire department approved those plans before it was built. Now they don't like the way it's built and they have a lot of angst about ever taking it, so they may never take it. So in that interim, Home Leasing owns it. They weren't intending on paying maintenance fees. Veolia hopefully won't ever have an issue in continuing operations, even though it's privately owned. That's been something they've gone back and forth over the course of time, saying they're not allowed to. That's okay, they will anyway, so I don't know.
Next week when they say, oh, we can't take the water.
So you're saying Home Leasing wants to take over the road?
Well, they currently own it, so IDA has turned that roadway parcel over to Home Leasing long ago. That's why Home Leasing have been paying to maintain it and clear it all winter for their construction purposes, and we only did the tank roadway.
Does Home Leasing want someone else to take over? that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
They are losing their minds about the idea of having to keep owning it.
They want that a village road for sure.
And the plans approved by the village planning board called that out as a public roadway. Veolia does have technical issue restriction from operating a water tank that runs under a private roadway, so today,
village
it
is upset
sounds like
because
they're going to push it through
We're out of
anyway.
We talked to, didn't talk to the right people.
Yeah,
The right people weren't there at the time. That's the problem. It's a different board.
Yeah.
You got an
Right,
asshole
well-
out there that's wanting to cause a problem.
yeah, we
Two.
can keep kicking this thing around, but we have an agreement. Home Leasing has the road, the water company gets the water tank.
Mhm.
We have the agreement on the fire hydrants.
Yep.
And
What about the
Oh.
lighting?
So the lighting is not yet hooked up to, so the village actually, in anticipation of knowing this would be theirs, applied to NICEAG for a lighting hookup. And since then doesn't want the road, so the lighting was planned to be in their name. They haven't completed that paperwork, so there's no lighting.
I thought Leanne said the lighting was there.
So Home Leasing lighting is good, the roadway lighting is not, is my understanding.
Didn't ask the right question. Because there is Leanne is gonna set up a meeting with the county to see if the county would take over plowing and maintenance of the road. I said, we are not going to pay for hydrants. We are not gonna pay for lighting. No way.
So hydrants, although if owned privately, cost what we are agreeing to pay per hydrant. If a municipality takes the roadway, the hydrants will fall under all village fire protection, which they pay 30,700 something for them semi-annually,
right.
no matter how many hydrants they have. So whether the county or the village or some other municipality, if it existed, owns that road, hydrant maintenance zero. Zero added fees.
Well, I don't know that, we haven't had a meeting yet, but I don't know.
Okay, we can operate without the road lights because we all have headlights, right?
I think,
Nobody put any lights on my driveway. Sons of
Have you
bitches.
been up your driveway?
I felt like the nighttime.
My driveway.
Mine
is straighter.
Like your
nothing else to decide.
What are the other issues then? If the water company gets the water part done, we got the hydrant issue covered and we have the road issue covered as of right this minute.
It was just a punch list. Veolia's received submissions of outstanding documents and they are now scheduling their SCADA hookup and last minute construction hookups so that they can take it over next week. So they were supposed to schedule that to happen tomorrow. And we need, yeah, everything on the punch list is done. So it's just in their court.
My opinion is we roll with what we've got
Mhm.
and everybody's gonna be happy. They can start putting people in the
Mhm.
In the units, sure.
residences.
Yep.
And sooner or later, it'll get resolved. Stop pushing on it. Just
Let them
Yeah.
sign, I mean, obviously, we just want Veolia to sign that darn
Right.
thing. I mean, I'm sure home leasing's not happy.
One is all those places full up there.
Right.
And then you want to
Well, I'm sure home leasing's not happy because now all of a sudden in the short term, they're on the hook for maintenance. They're on the hook for the liability. And again, no one in the lending business and they had their financer on there. I'm sure they're saying, well, that's coming
I
up.
think everybody could line up and I could stick a plain necktie on every one of them. So let's just move on. If we've got all the bases covered, can we just move on?
I'm on. When they sign the agreement, then I'm good. My worry is we've heard light at the end of the shop.
Yeah.
I've heard light at the end of the
Motion to move
tunnel
on?
for a long time. The damn tunnel gets longer and longer and longer.
When they said they had a meeting with RIC and everything was good, I was like.
Agreement that.
Yes.
Well, we need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
Yay, all in favor?
That's easy.
Yay, opposed, boom.
That's.
Great.
Oh, that was resolved rather quickly.
I thought that meeting last week was gonna be shorter. I ran out of time. I don't even think you're halfway done.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this
I knew that was gonna
resolution
go
you
on.
just approved, authorizes the execution and submission of private hydrant.
It's approved.
Onward.
We did.
Okay, just a heads up, I received outreach from a solar developer who already has approved projects, 2 of them in Appalachian. He was asking the process for obtaining mortgage tax abatement, so I responded to him with the information that Joe advised. I just gave him agency fee schedule, pilot application and instruction, and haven't heard from him since.
Moving on.
Our year
Wait.
audit started.
It's hard to justify expense wise, getting just the mortgage tax. So I'm sure once they get the information and see, because you have to do the same process as we do for a pilot. We have to take title and take lease in order to sign the mortgage and get the exemption. It's a lot of complication for very
I
little.
was gonna say, better be a pretty darn big mortgage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that
Hopefully you made them go away.
I doubt it.
All right.
Yes.
So our audit starts January 9th. Our new board member should be appointed at the January 10th legislative meeting. John Ward agreed to be the treasurer, replacing Aaron. I did receive updated sales tax reports from Robinson, and statewide Aqua Store and the Legal Gardens are submitting those timely, ongoingly. Just so everybody is aware, Illegal Gardens 2 actually was exempt for the school tax. So their year 1 pilot has been invoiced and started after September, and we'll just hold that until town and county rates come out, and then we'll disperse to all entities. And Best Bev LLC pilot application, the cost benefit analysis was revised because their anticipated payroll amount increased. So that's included in the revised version. Waverly Central School District did provide a letter of support for the project. Which I just received today. And basically, here it is. They recognize the economic growth, et cetera, and as a school board, support the pilot agreement we're considering.
What are we doing with public hearing?
So we are scheduling that at the end of January, and Joe's office is working on that. So we'll have a date soon.
I prefer Friday at 4:30 if I could. Thank you.
Followed by, you guys have something Friday at 4:30, I'll not be attending there, I can guarantee you.
To run, you might be the only one there.
That's date night.
Mm, mm, mm.
Why do you think I brought it?
Martinis by 4:30.
Oh, boy.
So I see Marty's reading it, so I'm holding on.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting, I mean, it's good, but because they're endorsing.
It's in their town.
Well, and they're giving something up because it's
Yeah.
that, the way that's structured, they're losing some tax
Yeah.
revenues.
So in their pocket gets picked that fashion.
So
I don't think this is gonna get supported by our legislature.
Did I understand that that got like a $3 million grant?
they got a $3.2 million grant from the ESC that Leanne's ECDEP team applied for and won for them.
So they're getting 3 million from the state.
You said 3 million. Now I'm questioning, is it 1.2 million or
It was-
3.2?
That was 3 something.
3.2 million. Okay, perfect.
So they're in pretty good shape.
And
They don't need this pilot. They're already moving forward anyway.
That made my decision when they got it.
Right.
But
And the pilot's not huge anyway.
It's only-
Why would they?
200,
It's, what's the total?
240 something thousand real property tax.
Over the
abatement
term.
Over 10
What's
years.
the sales?
And then sales taxes,
368,000 total with sales tax or
the
something.
sales taxes, I'd have to pull up CBA, sales tax is 200 something as well, but then we take out their agency fee and they land at 300 something savings overall. The town expressed,
about $3 million.
They're gonna spend more of that
Yeah.
on lawyer fee.
As well they should.
so let me pull this, I'm rattling off actual numbers. We can take just a minute on that.
I mean, you can do a sales tax
Yeah, you can do it.
without the pilot.
Yeah.
362.
In the town portion of that sales tax is estimated at only $5,000 left, which they don't have a problem with because they wouldn't be receiving it if the company wasn't here. They expressed sincere negative sentiments about the property tax abatement.
Wasn't huge for them anyways.
Right.
So sales tax savings, 181, 180 local portion, 362 total. And then there is real property tax total estimated 265, 461. And then their agency fee was to be 1% of this. So I think it's 230,306. If I'm doing that right.
What it looks like.
Okay, so when we take out their fee that we would receive if we approve them, you know, they're 362
Almost
plus.
doesn't make sense.
So
I mean, a couple $100,000 makes sense in a lot of ways.
Well, if it was going in my pocket, it would make a lot of sense. But it's not.
onward,
Onward.
okay. I'll be working on this Richford Railroad grant and municipal water extension grant for Raymond Hadley in the upcoming and ongoing future. We still haven't heard back about the ARC grant regarding engineering plans for the buildings. And the reimbursement process for the water tank grant is in process and ongoing. That's
Do
all.
we have anything for executive session? I don't think we do.
We do.
We do.
Make a motion.
Second, please.
I'll move for a second.
We
Let's
can't,
move to executive session.
we can't start reimbursement process. Really take that, right?
Correct. And there, it'll be 1 year until